What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Sorry for being a little late today, but I'm here bringing you that daily crypto news. I do the read-through so to give you the full information because, again, when we're on like Twitter and everything, we just get brief explanations for it. So I like to cover like the full article of what happened. But speaking about Twitter news and everything, let's go through Bitcoin Magazine's Twitter posts. What are some articles I may be missing out on today, but did just happen? Guest just in, Vice President J.D. Vance breaks a tie to pass President Trump's big, beautiful bill. So let's hear him say this. It's a quick 6 seconds.
The nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
Now, I believe this big, beautiful bill had to do with, what is it? Taxes, tax cuts on tips and everything. So I got to do more breaking down. Because again, see, like we get these little tidbits of pieces and it's like, what is that big, beautiful bill? So this is why I do article of read-throughs, just get the full information, what's going on, what's happening. So that's what I like to cover. But what anything else going on here? Let's take a quick look. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it's positive steps to create a regulatory framework for stable coins, and we're well on the way to creating a framework for it. So very nice, Powell. Like hearing that news. And then we got publicly traded DCE Enterprise closes a $528 million financing advance. It's Bitcoin Treasury shares. So again, more people are getting into the Bitcoin Treasury option. That's going to be our first article we're going to cover, talking about the Vanatti Coffee Shop shareholders approve 1 billion Bitcoin Treasury strategy. So yes, this is going to be our first article we're going to be covering right now. Plus, I have a handful of other articles for you. So let's just dive right on into the news and learn what's going on. So the Spanish cafe chain Vanatti Coffee has adopted a Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset with shareholders' approval to invest up to 1 billion, is that euros, Spanish pesos? I always forget the currency signs out there. But shareholders of Vanatti Coffee have approved a plan to invest up to 1 billion in Bitcoin as part of a new strategy to manage the company's finances. Now, this move puts the small cafe chain, which runs 6 locations in Alicante, on track to becoming the largest publicly listed Bitcoin holding company in Spain. So very nice. Now here is that tweet and showcasing them of how they wanted to do that. Vanatti Coffee shareholders meeting has approved the company's strategic shift to become the largest listed Bitcoin company in Spain with investments of up to 1 billion euro in Bitcoin. Now they also purchased an additional 20 Bitcoin and now have 54 in their balance sheet. So yeah, it's a small number, but it's a start. That's still more Bitcoin, and that's just Bitcoin the rich guy, millionaire, billionaire, and other countries, government institutions can't have. And again, Bitcoin is a scarce asset. There's only 21 million tokens, and there will be no more after that. About 19 million in circulation, like a little above that. So like we are running so low, and every time we're getting more word of these companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, that's just less Bitcoin you can get. So if you're an average Joe, like we're going to be covering in today's class I have prepared for the Crypto Club, like you just want to start shooting for it just to get some Bitcoin. Make it fun. Like shoot for 0.1 Bitcoin. I know that's around like $10,000 right now, but have that your final goal, but have stepping stones across it. Like shoot for 0.001 Bitcoin. That's only $100 right there. Boom, there's your prize, your bronze medal. Give yourself a little reward for that. Then shoot for 0.01 Bitcoin. And then that's like $1,000, and most average Joes out there don't even have $500 extra in their savings to do it. And then after that, shoot for that 0.1, and then boom, you will be well more beneficial than anybody else out there who doesn't have Bitcoin. But no, with these guys having 54 Bitcoin on the balance sheets, and they're probably going to be adding more consistently, like we've seen with MetaPlanet, MicroStrategy company Strategy, as well as many other companies I've announced before on this channel. Just it's getting scarce, guys. So there is going to be a huge wave coming, and just be prepared. But according to an official filing released on June 29th, Vanatti Coffee purchased an additional 20 Bitcoin this month as part of its new treasury strategy. Now, this latest acquisition brings the company's total Bitcoin holdings to 54. Now, the digital assets are being securely held by its Bit2Me, a leading Spain-based cryptocurrency custody and exchange platform based on the current market prices. Now, Vanatti's Bitcoin reserve is now valued at approximately 5.8 million. Is that Spain pesos? I really got to learn what that currency is. But this marks a significant step towards a goal of becoming Spain's top publicly listed Bitcoin holding company. Now, Venati Coffee, following its new treasury management strategy, has proceeded with the acquisition of 20 bitcoins at an average purchasing price of 93,440 euros. So not a bad price. Now, the official shareholder document states that with this shift, Venati Coffee has officially become one of the first publicly listed companies in Spain to adopt Bitcoin as a primary treasury asset. So very, very nice. Now, shares of Venati, which trades on both the BME Growth Spain Stock Exchange, designed for small and medium-sized enterprises, have more than tripled over the past 30 days since the announcement was first made public. Now, a translated version of the company's strategic release emphasized its intent to follow the lead of US-based strategy and Japan's Metaplanet. Now, Venati Coffee redefines its business model and will use Bitcoin as its main reserve asset, accumulating a large amount of Bitcoin as part of its treasury. Now, once considered a struggling local brand, Venati reported 3.3 million in losses in 2024, which was an increase of 15.8% over the prior year. Now the company is pivoting sharply to Bitcoin, and two pending investment proposals from local software consultancy and international fund Alpha Blue, known for the over 1.5 billion global investments, are reportedly under review and may help finance Venati's Bitcoin accumulation. So there you have it. So another company is jumping on. We've seen that they struggled a bit, so now making the shift, hopefully it's going to bring them out of that negative red zone territory. And as we've seen with other companies right now, it has been doing it. Anybody who's been acquiring Bitcoin or putting on a treasury has been definitely succeeding so far. So this is the start. We'll keep an eye on them as well as any other new company that comes along with the new treasury as well, because I'm actually kind of taking a look at the stock market for all these companies that are publicly traded and are acquiring Bitcoin. I'm just doing a little theory, testing it out. Sure, I'll be earning fiat from it, but I just want to put that into Bitcoin. But this is a theory I want to test out. Sure, my ultimate goal is still acquire as much Bitcoin as I possibly can and keep that in my self-custody wallet. But no, it's fun actually trying out some different strategies out there, seeing how stock prices can play a role with just companies acquiring Bitcoins, treasuries, because we're just seeing it happen. It's like, oh, this company added this, oh, their stock price went up. So it's like, I'm just testing the waters, dipping the toes. I'm not saying go do that. If I were to say something, just buy Bitcoin and keep acquiring it, because that's the main thing everybody should be doing. But that's our first news article of the day, talking about Venati's Coffee adding that Bitcoin treasury. So definitely looking forward to keeping more up to date with that. Now, next up in the news, we got Deutsche Bank to launch crypto custody accounts in 2026. And I feel like I covered some news about this before, but there are so many banks adopting like strategies and incorporating crypto. So it's like, was this a bank I covered before? I don't know, but let's go through this article and learn a little bit about this transition. So Deutsche Bank reportedly plans to launch a crypto custody service in 2026, with Bitpanda and Taurus expanding its digital asset initiatives in Europe. Now, Germany's biggest bank, Deutsche Bank, is reportedly planning to allow its clients to store cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin next year. Now, Deutsche Bank plans to launch a digital asset custody service in 2026, which is a collaboration with the technology unit of Austria-based Bitpanda crypto exchange. Now, Bloomberg reported this on Tuesday, and the crypto custody service development will also involve Deutsche Bank's backed Swiss technology provider, Taurus, according to Bloomberg, citing sources familiar with the matter. Now, if confirmed, Deutsche Bank's latest plans would mark the bank's latest attempt to enter the crypto storage market since it revealed such ambitions in 2020. Now, they have had heavy involvement in crypto in recent times. Deutsche Bank has signaled increased interest in cryptocurrencies in recent years, but in early June, Deutsche Bank's head of digital assets, Sabi Bezad, said that the bank was considering entering the stablecoin market, including issuing their own stablecoin or joining stablecoin projects. So we got banks shifting over to stablecoins rather than the CBDC. We got this bank. We heard about JP Morgan Bank and their token. So everyone's kind of switching board. Even yesterday's news article with Korea kind of postponing CBDCs now more focused on a stablecoin that will be pegged to the won or whatnot. So stablecoin market is definitely growing, and Deutsche Bank has had their eyes on it. But they said that we can certainly see the momentum of stablecoins along with a regulatory supportive environment, especially in the US, said Bezad. Now, he added that banks have a wide variety of options available to them engaging in the stablecoin industry, everything from acting as a reserve manager through to issuing their own stablecoin either alone or in a consortium. Now, additionally, Deutsche Bank is also reportedly assessing whether to develop its own tokenized deposit solution for use in payments. Now, this isn't the first effort to launch crypto custody. Late last year, Deutsche Bank was reportedly developing its own Layer 2 blockchain on Ethereum using ZK Sync technology. In 2023, Deutsche Bank said it planned to launch crypto custody options in partnership with Toros, soon after applying for a digital asset custody license in Germany. Now, Deutsche Bank has also previously worked with Bitpanda on improving crypto payments at the crypto exchange since at least June 2024. Now, Deutsche Bank did not immediately respond to a request to comment when contacted by Cointelegraph, and Bitpanda also declined to confirm or deny the report. So the news followed another major German bank, Sparkassen Finanzgruppe, man, my German sucks, but which on Tuesday announced plans to introduce crypto trading services to its 50 million customers. So it's not just Deutsche Bank, but another German bank out there too, introducing crypto services. And again, it's not just going to be Germany. I'm pretty sure I covered a couple other articles out there of different banks just getting involved, starting it, and it's just times of change where you're going to be getting a wave and surge of crypto use soon. Because again, once the offer is available in people's banks, that's kind of when retail might be getting back involved. Because as currently right now, we haven't seen any retail people get into the crypto bandwagon right now, which usually is a tell. Like when the retail people are in, it's like that's usually like the bull market times. Like we have altcoin season and everything's buying everything up, but we have not had the retail guys come in. This has just all been institutions, governments, states, countries, everyone else on board, but the retail space. So I feel like we're just going to wait for it. Just like we're seeing changes happen. And again, once banks have it, businesses are using it, then the retail is kind of just going to be forced to get on board. But that's Deutsche Bank and a couple other banks going out there and adding crypto custody and support. Now let's move on to Robinhood launching Layer 2 blockchain for stock trading in Europe. So stocks are getting tokenized, so no longer having to deal with the Monday to Friday 9 to 6 timeline. Now it's going to be 24/7 as this continues. But Robinhood is offering tokenized US stocks and ETFs on the Arbitron blockchain to users in Europe. So Robinhood's push into the real-world assets is gaining momentum, with digital brokerage launching a tokenized focused Layer 2 blockchain and introducing stocks token trading for users in the European Union. Built on Arbitron, the new Layer 2 network will enable the issuance of over 200 US stocks and exchange-traded funds. Now, this gives European investors access to US assets, and Robinhood announced this on Monday. So Robinhood stocks tokens will have zero commissions and be available for trading 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. No, only 5, so I guess it's not 24/7, 7 days a week, but it will still be 5 days a week, but instead of the clock turning off at 6, you can continue going. So that's pretty cool. And here is that tweet from them. Let's tokenize. Starting today, European investors get exposure to US stocks and ETFs powered by our new blockchain-based tokenization. So pretty cool. So US stocks and ETF tokens are offered to the EU customers by Robinhood Europe, UAB. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply, but it's not available in the US. US stocks and ETF tokens trading involves significant risks and is not appropriate for all investors. So please clarify, consider if investing in such financial instruments is appropriate for you based on your specific experience, risk tolerance, and financial situation. Now, the company also announced the launch of a perpetual futures in the EU, giving eligible traders access to derivatives with up to 3 times leverage. Now, these trades will be routed through Bitstamp, the crypto exchange Robinhood recently acquired for $200 million. Now, Robinhood isn't the first exchange to offer tokenized shares to European investors. As Cointelegraph reported, Gemini has already begun offering a tokenized version of Strategy Master Stock, giving investors exposure to the Bitcoin-focused company. Now, Robinhood's crypto push has intensified. Robinhood unveiled its new tokenization initiative days after launching micro futures contracts for Bitcoin, XRP, and Solana, allowing traders to access derivatives markets with significantly lower capital requirements. In May, the exchange acquired Canadian crypto operator WonderFi in a $179 million deal. The company has also been advocating for sensible tokenization legislation in the United States, having submitted a proposal to the Securities and Exchange Commission to establish a national framework for real-world assets. Now, Robinhood's proposal includes plans to launch the Real World Asset Exchange, a platform designed for off-chain trading with on-chain settlements. The real-world assets market has grown significantly over the past year, eclipsing $24 billion as of June. Now, according to a recent Redstone report, however, much of its growth has been driven by private credit and U.S. Treasury debt, with tokenized stocks accounting for less than $400 million. Now, here is the total value of tokenized real-world assets, including stable coins, and the source was from realworldassets.xyz. So we got private credit, commodities is lower, the next big one is stocks out there, and so on. So yeah, real-world assets and tokenization of that has been pretty big narrative going on outside of AI right there. Everyone wants to. And again, we're tokenizing everything right now. Right now, we see it in stocks. I've done a class on tokenization. Everything has already been tokenized. Your music is tokenized. Videos are tokenized. Our housing is tokenized. California has tokenized their California tokenized their vehicle titles with their DMV, and they use the Arbitron network for that one too. So everything's just getting tokenized. There's still going to be a physical copy layer to it, but this just makes things easier and more immutable and transparent. So it's like, oh, we need this file, boom, there it is. Oh, can we make any changes? Nope, sorry, that's been blockchained. We can't tamper it. But who knows now, as we keep evolving with tokenization, and we may have like editable contracts out there and whatnot. But no, everything's being tokenized, and Robinhood is getting on that too with its stocks in US ETFs. So where'd it go? Now let's move on to our next article revolving Caleb Brown. This is a over-the-counter brokerage we like recommending here with our crypto club members out there. It's a nice place to buy large amounts of crypto. It's over-the-counter. So the best beauty about it, it's peer-to-peer. There's no need talking to a machine like with exchange or whatnot. You're actually talking about an actual broker you get, and when you want to make purchases, sells, or trades, like you're physically talking with somebody. So this has to do with Caleb Brown, but it looks like Australia's SwiftTX is about to acquire Caleb Brown in a record 66 million plus ANZ crypto deal. So let's hear about this, because I'm wondering with our partnership if this is going to be affected at all. But SwiftTX is acquiring Caleb Brown in the largest crypto M&A deal in ANZ as it seeks a foothold in the US to target high net worth clients. So, Australian crypto exchange SwiftTX is set to acquire boutique digital asset brokerage Caleb Brown in what the company is described as the largest crypto acquisition in Australia and New Zealand to date. Now, the deal, which was formally disclosed to staff last week, is expected to significantly expand SwiftTX's reach into the US, where Caleb Brown has built a client base among high net worth crypto investors. Now, a source speaking on conditions of anonymity told Decrypt that the value of the deal is worth over 100 million Australian dollars, which is around 65.8 million US dollars. Now, this acquisition comes 3 months after SwiftTX agreed to buy New Zealand's largest crypto exchange, Easy Crypto, and will give the company the broadest geographic reach among Australian exchanges. Now, the SwiftTX group will also employ just under 300 team members on completion of the deal, Decrypt was told, and Spartan, a specialist blockchain investment and advisory firm with offices in Singapore, Hong Kong, serve as the financial advisor to SwiftTX. Now, the U.S. under President Donald Trump has been actively pushing for more favorable industry regulations, including those related to stablecoins and market structure, a move many say is making it easier for firms to do business here. Now, there have been a lot of fear over U.S. crypto policies and have melted away under the Trump administration. Jason Titman, CEO of SwiftTX, told Decrypt that not only does this reduce the risk that businesses see in entering the market, it also makes crypto a more appealing asset for American investors who don't currently own crypto. Titman also said he expects to see a meaningful pickup or a meaningful uptick in crypto's M&A this year. Now, the president's working group on crypto is due to report before the end of the month, and it could open the floodgates to a lot of U.S.-focused crypto deal makings, he said. Now, Melbourne-based Caleb Brown, founded in 2016, offers personalized one-on-one trading services and currently holds more than $2 billion in digital assets under custody. Now, the brokerage maintains compliance with Australia's regulatory requirements, including Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering obligations. Now, the firm asserts that the client's assets are held on a one-on-one basis, not commingled, traded, or lent out, and are secured in cold storage with the assistance of custody partner Fireblocks. Additionally, the company has previously said it engaged an auditor to produce annual financial audits, and as of now, the firm has not released any audited financial statements to the public, according to the company's official communications, including its blog and help center. Now, in any case, its U.S. presence and private client model will enable SwiftTX to compete for high-value customers on American exchanges, a strategic focus for the Brisbane-based firm as it seeks to expand its footprint beyond Australia and New Zealand. Now, SwiftTX, meanwhile, intends to scale Caleb & Brown's relationship manager team and position the combined group as an alternative for wealthy investors seeking tailored, round-the-clock support, said Decrypt. So that deal is going on there. Again, no word or announcement saying that these guys are going to like shut down Caleb & Brown by taking their name away or doing anything. Caleb & Brown's still going to be running a business. But what we got from this article is they're acquiring it in order to, again, gain access to some high net worth clients in America. Like they didn't have that. And we've seen it many times, like with Binance Exchange buying buying up companies that have licenses in certain countries, because then once they buy the company, now they have that license to do business in that site location. So this is nothing new in the business space and just acquiring deals out there. So I'll keep you guys informed on what's going on here, because again, I have a Caleb & Brown account. I'm a sponsor, so if you want to sign up for Caleb & Brown, use my link down below in the description box. But I'm curious. When I saw this, I'm going, what's going on here? But that's a pretty big deal, $66 million. That's quite a lot of money, or quite a lot of Bitcoin. But so that's what's going on and happening there. Now let's take a quick break before we continue on with the news. Let me pull up an ad. Which one do we want today, guys? We always have Calyx Solutions crypto laptops at the end. Do we want our home to hodl or loan to program? Which one do we want? Let's play our podcast room, because here at the Crypto Club in Sarasota, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, but you don't want to buy the equipment or the gear, come to the club. We have an awesome podcast room, literally on the wall, behind the wall, right over here, right behind me. So here, let's check out this podcast room and how you can rent out some space.
Want to connect with the world? Ready to be heard by millions? Have a talent you are ready to share, or want to elevate your business to the next level? Step into the spotlight. Welcome to our all-new podcast studio at Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, Sarasota. Introducing a cutting-edge creative space built for everyone, from first-timers to seasoned pros. Outfitted with state-of-the-art cameras, broadcast-quality microphones, professional mixers, and premium acoustic treatment, this is where your voice isn't just heard, it's felt. Whether you're recording a podcast, live streaming, or creating high-impact video content, our studio delivers next-level production value. Lights on, mic hot, let's go.
Yeah, that's our podcast room. So definitely come on down. If you haven't been in Sarasota, Florida, and checked out our club, come on by. Check out everything we have to offer, with tons of even programs to our members too. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, we got our home to hodl program, our no KYC Bitcoin purchases, loans for Bitcoin, so you don't have the extra spare cash around, and we know Bitcoin's going up, but you just want to acquire Bitcoin. We can help you get a loan to buy Bitcoin. So yep, so with tons of stuff to offer. Join the club, give us a call, and just let us know. Let us tell you what's going on here. Now let's continue on with the news. What else is going on? So we've been very bullish about Bitcoin. Lots of states, countries, institutions, everyone's adopting Bitcoin, but there are some out there who are still just against it. So they are going to have to stifle the innovation from where they're at, the state they're in, the country they're located, and they're just going to get in at the price they deserve, because eventually they are going to have to get in on it, and just by banning it is going to do nothing. So let's go through this article on how Connecticut goes anti-crypto as Governor Lamont signs bill banning the state digital asset investment. So Connecticut goes anti-crypto as Governor Lamont signs comprehensive Bitcoin reserve ban, while 26 states introduced 47 Bitcoin reserve bills, with Texas and New Hampshire leading the adoption rate. Connecticut, they went the other way. So Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont has officially signed into law a comprehensive Bitcoin reserve ban that prohibits the state from accepting, holding, and investing digital assets. Now, the legislation known as HB 7082 passed unanimously through both the State House of the Representatives and Senate without a single opposing vote. And here it is from the Assembly. Now, the new law explicitly bars Connecticut and its political subdivisions from accepting virtual currency as payment or establishing any form of digital reserve. Now, the position Connecticut as one of the most restrictive states regarding cryptocurrency's adoption, contrasting sharply with the growing trend of the Bitcoin reserve legislation across the United States. Now, the timing appears particularly significant as 26 states have introduced 47 Bitcoin reserve bills, with Texas and New Hampshire and Arizona already having approved the state-level Bitcoin reserve frameworks. Connecticut's decision effectively removes it from the national conversation around strategic crypto adoption for public treasuries. The legislation extends beyond investment restrictions to comprehensive regulations governing the transmission of money. Now, crypto businesses must now provide extensive disclosure about material risks, including warnings about fraud protection, market volatility, and irreversible natures of transactions. And additional protections require parental verification for users under 18 years old. So, again, nobody's going to want to do business in Connecticut if we have these rules here. So, you know what? Let's just go to New Hampshire, which is pretty close right next door to the state. Let's just do business right there. I'm pretty sure we're going to get all those people. So again, this is what we've seen in the last 4 years when you stifle blockchain innovation. It's just like, instead of embracing it and accepting the abilities and tools it allows us to have, like, they're not going to grow. And we saw that in the last 4 years. We didn't grow. But once Trump came in presidency in November, rules started changing, like everyone's adopting it. Companies have started thriving off of this new regulation. So it's just, when I see this, it's like, they're getting that with the time they deserve to do it. So no sweat off my back. I know there's still plenty of other states out there that are getting on board with it. But states have rallied around Bitcoin's adoption despite the federal uncertainty. Crypto's adoption at the state level is aggressively growing and starkly contrasts with this new Connecticut move. Now, Texas leads the movement, with Governor Greg Abbott signing Senate Bill 21, establishing America's first state-funded Bitcoin reserve entirely separate from the state treasury. Now, here is that tweet from Crypto News announcing it. Now, Texas Comptroller Glenn Hager will oversee the fund, with companion legislation HB 4488 protecting reserves from routine fund reallocations. Now, Senator Charles Schwerner led the initiative, arguing that the state of Texas should have the option of evaluating the best performing asset over the last 10 years. Now, New Hampshire also achieved a historic milestone by becoming the first state to pass laws allowing public funds to be invested in Bitcoin reserves. And then we had Governor Kelly Ayotte signing legislation permitting up to 5% allocation in digital assets with market capitalization exceeding $500 billion, effectively just targeting Bitcoin exclusively. Now, California is not left out with its progressive adoption through Assembly Bill 1180, which unanimously passed with 78 Assembly members supporting pilot programs for digital asset fee payments. Now, we have the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation will create frameworks for cryptocurrency-based government transactions by 2025. Now, Arizona, however, presents a complex picture, with Governor Katie Hobbs vetoing a comprehensive Bitcoin reserve legislation while simultaneously signing HB 2749, which creates the framework for managing unclaimed digital assets. So she vetoed one but signed another. And the state maintains multiple active bills still, including the revised HB 2324, which recently passed Senate reconsideration. Now, corporate adoption has accelerated regardless of state-level policies, with 252 entities now holding Bitcoin, representing approximately 16.57% of the total supply. Now, Strategy maintains the largest position at 597,325 Bitcoin, worth around $69.93 billion. This is the most recent purchase, being 4,980 Bitcoin at an average price of $106 or 106,801. I think Strategy's average is around 70,000, 90. Now, I believe he's at the 70,000 per Bitcoin, so his dollar cost average is pretty low. Now, there have been regulatory patchwork, which has created compliance challenges so far. Notably, the new Connecticut law mandates extensive compliance measures, including customer identification protocols, transaction receipt requirements, and robust risk disclosure frameworks that exceeded federal minimums. Now, money transmission license must maintain virtual currency holdings equal to customer obligations while prohibiting unauthorized use of controlled assets. The legislation establishes the virtual currency held by licenses becoming property interests of claimants, creating additional legal protection for consumers. Now, several states have abandoned their efforts to reserve Bitcoin, creating an inconsistent national landscape. Florida withdrew its House Bill 487 and Senate Bill 550 during legislative sessions, joining Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, Montana, Oklahoma, in which they have failed in adoption attempts. And how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 states out of 50, but there were still 3 that did pass. So eventually, I still see, like, even the ones that have not passed yet, I believe they will turn around like we saw with Katie Hobbs in Arizona. She vetoed one. The current bill that's being revised is going to be heading to her desk soon. So I feel like once revisions get made, like every single state will have a Bitcoin reserve. And I do not doubt that at all. Even with Connecticut making this law up right now, they will eventually be on board too. Now, there have been some positive states out there in the process, still with Michigan introducing House Bill 4087, which allows for 10% Treasury allocations to cryptocurrency. So we still got that bill to look forward to. Now, at the same time, Ohio advanced Senate Bill 57, which creates exclusive Bitcoin reserve funds with mandatory 5-year holding periods. Similar, North Carolina also passed legislation permitting a 5% investment allocation pending validation by third-party oversight. Additionally, West Virginia's Inflation Protection Act proposes a 10% Treasury allocation to digital assets with a market capitalization exceeding $750 billion, effectively limiting investments to Bitcoin and select stablecoins. Now, the legislation positions precious metals and cryptocurrencies as inflation hedges against government spending deficits. Oklahoma has also approved a Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act through the House Committee with a 12-2 vote, allowing for a 10% public fund allocation to digital assets. And the state previously passed Bitcoin rights legislation protecting self-custody rights and transaction freedom. So there have been so many bills. Like, I feel like I was just ranting on. It's like, okay, so here's Oklahoma's bill, here's Michigan's, it's like there is still so much in the works right now. And then, like, so when I see this article, it's like, sure, I got to share it out there because people are going to be going, oh, did you hear Connecticut is like, yeah, they passed a bill. Like, who cares? Like, with all these other states and everything, and still just the adoption going around the world, it's like, by one person vetoing or banning it, they're going to get back in. Like, picture 4 years ago when China banned Bitcoin mining. People thought China banned Bitcoin. It's like, no, they banned the mining. Those miners just moved to the country right next door. So it's not stopping the advancement of Bitcoin's adoption or crypto's adoption out there. But I still had a report on this. So Connecticut, do better. Make that change fast so your state doesn't end up hurting in the short term, because big things are happening and fast. Now let's move on to our last quick article on how hackers suck at trading. That is true, because this is the story on how a fraudster lost $7 million trading Ethereum. So he used stolen money, but he sucked at trading because he, I think, was trying to go for 40 or 50 X trades. I don't know. Let's go through this article and find out. But at least one hacker out there is losing millions in an over-leveraged trade gone bad, according to Look On Chain. So an on-chain analytics firm analyzes that the losses from the fraudulent wallet, the beauty of trading on-chain, lies in the fact that every transaction is 100% public. So that goes for both professional traders, beginners, and believe it or not, even hackers. It's 100% public transparency. So this is the story of a supposed fraudster who lost millions in a bad trade. So hackers are not savvy traders. Look On Chain, a popular blockchain analysis firm, noted that the activity earlier this morning on its account on the social media platform X, the wallet in question, which according to the analysis is linked to illicit hacking activities, received 12,282 Ethereum 3 months ago, valued at around $23.72 million at the time. It then sold it at $1,932 per coin. And now, earlier today, the same culprit purchased 4,958 Ethereum at a price of $2,495, totaling 12.37 million. And this result in a de facto loss of around 6.9 million, as noted. So he sold low, bought high, and lost 6.9 million off of that, which is already really bad. Now, it's not just the cyber criminal that is out of luck. So as Crypto Potato reported yesterday, it's not just bad actors that wind up out of pocket. We noted 2 separate instances which 2 traders cumulatively lost millions on a very high-risk over-leveraged trade. Both were testing their luck with 40x and even 50x leverage, only to see their positions shrink as the markets did not turn in their favor. Now, one tried too many times to come on top, and the other one failed to realize a significant profit. This just goes to show that testing fate can quickly lead to the enormous shortfall, regardless of traders' intention and manner in which funds used for the transactions were obtained. So this is also kind of why I don't do trading at all. It's too risky. I'd rather just buy and hold, slowly dollar cost average, and slowly what did I just say there? Just slowly acquire as much like Bitcoin and crypto as I can. And again, I make it fun. Like I shoot for games wise. So like then my class day on average Joe I'm going to talk about, just start saving Bitcoin, little amounts, doesn't matter. Like I know like I live the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, and I know that's like, yeah, maybe you only have $20 a month that is this extra. Put that into Bitcoin. I'm going to show examples of how like just dollar cost averaging like slowly increases over time. And again, don't even focus on the dollar amount of Bitcoin. Just focus on the Bitcoin amount. Our dollar, who knows if it's even going to go away or how long it's going to take for it to go away. Like maybe it's going to be valued at a certain currency. So we're valuing at something that we don't know what's going to go down in the future with it. But what we do know is just the amount of Bitcoin you can acquire. It's like, oh, I got 0.0001 Bitcoin. Sweet. Next week or next month, now I have 0.00002 Bitcoin. So I slowly increase it. So it's just like that number will never change. The dollar amount, that's always going to fluctuate. It's up, it's down. Just focus on the steady, solid number of how many coins you actually have. And that's how you should do it. But yeah, so even this hacker sucked at trading, man, really sold his Ethereum that he stole at 1,900, then a couple months later purchased it at 2,900. So $6.9 million loss in that trade. So I guess it wasn't an over leveraged trade out there compared to some other traders out there, but yeah, guys, don't buy high and sell low. That's just not how you do it. But that is our final news article today. Just had to get some type of hacking story in there, scamming story, just to keep you informed of what's going on out there. But that's everything I have for you. Let's see. What's our fear and greed index look like? We are at a 50 right now with Bitcoin's price at 106,000. Yep, 106,000. Here's the day chart. Looks like we had a slow downwards trend. If we look at the week-on chart, yeah, we had a nice little rise to 108, but we're still just holding here. We're hovering. Bitcoin staying above $100,000. That is beautiful, and there is still room to grow. So, like, I still definitely expect another 2x from here. I don't think we're going to phase out at 150. As my old predictions used to be like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was saying, where could we go in this next cycle? That's why I think 150 is a good conservative point. But right now, we are not following traditional cycles anymore, and Bitcoin just keeps growing. It's holding its place, and we're not done yet. But that's it for the news I got for you. I hope everyone has an awesome Taco Tuesday. That's right, it's Tuesday. Get a taco out there. Not from Taco Bell, though. Get some real tacos. I wish I was in Cali, because then I'll be getting some street tacos, which I'll be there on Thursday. So, yes. So for those of you in Sarasota, our club is going to be closed on Friday, the 4th of July, celebrating Independence Day, our history. We're going to enjoy our time with our friends and family. And Thursday is when I leave, but the club will still be open. So if you guys want an appointment or a consultation, you need just help getting started in crypto, you need help with a transaction, schedule an appointment with me sometime today or tomorrow, because on Thursday, I leave in the morning. I'll be back Sunday night and back to work normal hours Monday. So it's just a quick trip, get some good Asian food, get some good Mexican food, and then just... I deserve a nice little break every once in a while. Again, it's a quick one, but I do. So everyone have a fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you again tomorrow with some more crypto news. Peace. Love.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.